I unmuted it. We're church. Yes.
We're not hearing you.
Yeah. All right. Is the PowerPoint visible right now? Is the slide visible?
No.
Now it is.
There we go.
Hold on. See anything. This is odd.
It was perfect until the second you wanted to speak.
Yeah, it's gone. Jim, do you see anything? I don't see that.
We're saying good morning.
All right, all right. Sorry for the delay. Good morning. I'm Sandy Moore, and I will be your online worship leader today. I recommend that you have your screen view set to speaker view. Common Ground is our celebration of worship for people of many paths who are gathering virtually to share in the responsible search for meaning and truth. Pathways is a warm and open community where all who come with open minds and kind hearts are welcome, regardless of ability, age, race, gender identity, or sexual orientation. We hope that all who join us today find this a safe online place to worship. I hope you were able to participate in last Sunday's Common Ground service, our first ever combination Zoom and in-person outdoor water communion service. Thanks to Alec, Michael Moore, Alyn, and all who made this special service possible. The water communion ritual is a UU tradition to mark our coming back together as summertime ends. Today's service is another UU tradition called Ingathering. As the new academic year is beginning, today we'll be hearing about the religious education offerings for all ages offered at Pathways. We often simply refer to religious education by the initials RE. I hope our audience today contains children and youth as well as parents. Themes of a UU Ingathering service often include reunion, renewal, re-covenanting as a community of faith, returning home to the church community that holds us, looking forward with excitement to the church year. We're so glad you've joined us for today's service. Now for our opening words. In this hour, may we be open to a rededication of treasured friendships, a renewal of spirit. May we relinquish the worries and anxieties of the past week, if just for this hour, and regain our strength through this community of faith. Our gathering song this morning is a new one for us, one that we learned about through our involvement with the Soul Matters program offered by the UUA. The artist is Jake Coolsby, and the lyrics speak to our theme this month of renewal. Sit back and enjoy New Morning.
Look out of your window as the sun starts to rise. And if there is a worry weighing down on your mind, let it lie. In the new morning, there is no time to dwell or hide. Taking what has been before and what is left to say. And if there is an echo lingering on from yesterday, let it fade. In the new morning, the road is clear for you to go your way. Here's a chance to break this tight routine, a chance to move across. Don't just dream and never turn the wheel. Take back what you've lost. Face all of your demons as the fields start to glow. And if there is a yearning for a place that you don't know, let it sow. In the new morning, forget your fears and faults as you go. Here's a chance to break this tight routine, a chance to move across. Don't just dream and never turn the wheel. Take back what you've lost. Look out of your window as the sun starts to rise. And if there is a worry weighing down on your mind, let it lie. In the new morning,
Join us in our virtual chalice lighting with words by Janet Parsons. The flame of our chalice this morning is a symbol of the warmth and brightness of our connections. The flame lights our way back together again from our separate summer lives. And it lights our way forward into this new church year of promise and renewal. I invite you to join me in a renewal of our sacred promises. Please read along with me. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament. And service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve human need, to the end that all souls shall grow in harmony with the divine. Thus do we covenant with each other. And now, Tink Foster will read for us today's Story for All Ages.
Hello, good morning. Michael is the kind of guy who is always in a good mood and always has something positive to say. When someone would ask him, "How are you doing?" he would reply, "If I were any better, I'd be twins." He was a natural motivator. If an employee was having a bad day, Michael was there telling the employee how to look on the positive side of the situation. Seeing this style made me really curious. So one day I went up to Michael and I asked him, "I don't get it. How can you be a positive person all of the time? How do you do it?" Michael replied, "Each morning when I wake up, I say to myself, you have two choices today. You can choose to be in a good mood, or you can choose to be in a bad mood. I choose to be in a good mood. Each time something bad happens, I can choose to be the victim, or I can choose to learn from it. I choose to learn from it. Every time someone comes to complaining, I can choose to accept their complaining, or I can point out the positive side of life. I choose the positive side of life." "Yeah, right. It's not that easy," I protested. "Yes, it is," Michael says. "Life is all about choices. When you cut away all the junk, every situation is a choice. You choose how you react to situations. You choose how people affect your mood. You choose to be in a good mood or to be in a bad mood. The bottom line, it's your choice how to live your life." I took a while and reflected on what Michael said. Soon thereafter, I left the tower industry and I started my own business. We lost touch, but I often thought of him when I made choices about life instead of reacting to it. Several years later, I heard that Michael was involved in a very serious accident, falling some 60 feet from a communications tower. After 18 hours of surgery and weeks of intensive care, Michael was released from the hospital with rods placed in his back. I saw Michael about 6 months after the accident. When I asked him how he was, he replied, "If I was any better, I'd be twins." Want to see my scars? I declined to see his wounds, but I did ask him what had gone through his mind when the accident took place. The first thing that went through my mind was the well-being of my soon-to-be-born daughter, Michael replied. And then, as I lay on the ground, I remembered that I had two choices. I could choose to live, or I could choose to die. And I choose to live. "Weren't you scared? Did you lose consciousness?" I asked Michael. "The paramedics were great," he said. "They kept telling me I was going to be fine. But when they wheeled me into that ER, I saw the expressions on those faces of the doctors and nurses. They all looked scared. In their eyes, I read, he's a dead man. I knew that I needed to be the one that took action. What did you do? I said. Well, there was this big burly nurse shouting questions at me. She asked me if I was allergic to anything. And I said, yes. The doctors and nurses all paused. They stopped working and waited for my next answer, and I took a deep breath. Gravity! Over their laughter, I told them all, I choose to live. Operate on me as if I am alive, not as I'm dead. Michael did live, and thanks to the skills of the doctors, but thanks to his amazing attitude. I learned from him that every day we have the choice to live fully. Attitude, after all, is everything. Therefore, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has had enough trouble of its own. After all, today is the tomorrow you worried about yesterday.
Okay. Thank you, Tink. Now let's all enjoy our worship song, Everything Possible by Reverend Fred Small.
Thank you very much.
We have cleared off the table the leftovers saved. Washed the dishes and put them away. I have told you a story and tucked you in tight at the end of your knockabout day. As the moon sets its sails to carry you to sleep over the midnight sea, I will sing you a song no one sang to me. May it keep you good company. You can be anybody you want to be. You can love whomever you will. You can travel any country. You can travel any country where your heart leads. And know I will love you still. You can live by yourself. You can live by yourself. You can gather friends around. You can choose one, the special one, and the only measure, and the only measure of your words and your deeds will be the love you leave behind when you're done. There are girls who grow up strong and bold. There are boys, quiet and kind. Some race on ahead, some follow behind. Some go in their own way and time. Some women love women, some men love men. Some raise children, some never do. You can dream all the day, never reaching the end of everything possible for you. Don't be rattled by names, by taunts, by games, but seek out spirits true. If you give your friends the best part of yourself, they will give the same back to you. You can be anybody you want to be. You can love whomever you will. Sing it with us. You can travel any country where your heart beats, and know I will love you still. You can live by yourself. You can gather friends around. You you can choose one special one, and the only measure of your words and your deeds will be the love you leave behind when you're done. The love you leave behind when you're done.
Our call to worship today is by Deborah Hafner. We gather together at the start of this new school year as people of many ages, as people of many sexual orientations and gender identities, as people of many races and ethnicities, as people of many theologies and religious backgrounds, woven together in our love for this community, with our hopes and dreams and prayers for the year before us, with our hearts and minds and spirits ready to be touched by the year before us, with our hands and time and talents ready to be offered in the year before us. We gather together at the start of this new year with gratitude and love for those who have come before us, for those who stand here with us. May it be a good year. May it be a sweet year. Come, let us worship together. Today we'll be hearing about the many different religious education opportunities available here at Pathways, all of which are meeting now via Zoom. We'll be hearing from the facilitators of all the various RE offerings. First of all, we'll hear from the RE Board Liaison, Nancy Miller.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the beginning of the new RE year. Like school, we start in September. Some of our offerings go all year round, and some of them just go through May. And so this is the time that we let you know about everything that's going on with RE and talk a little bit about why it's important to us and give you a chance to consider how you would like to be a part of it. Another term for RE that you often hear among UUs is faith development. So we talk about lifetime faith development. And what does that mean for us? For UUs, sometimes the word faith is a trigger because we grew up being told that we need to have faith and just, listen to what we're told to believe. And we think of the term blind faith, and we know that's not us. We're not going to be teaching you to have blind faith. But as UUs, we don't believe that faith and reason are opposites. We define faith as the process of finding and making meaning in our lives and the world. So even though we don't impose creeds or specific beliefs, we want to understand life, and our understanding and beliefs about the world and our place in it evolve and change. We shape our beliefs over the course of our lives, and we find that doing so in community with others leads to greater growth and understanding. At Pathways, through our RE program, that's really our aim, is to seek to facilitate the journey of faith development that's going to be different for every person. We're fortunate at Pathways to have many opportunities for adult RE. So now we're going, like Sandy said, we're going to have a representative from each group. We'll talk briefly about the various RE groups that we offer. And first, it's going to be Marge Stockton, who's going to talk about our humanist discussion group, Harried Reasoners. Marge?
Good morning, Pathways family. Actually, the Harried Reasoners Adult Forum is as old as Pathways. It originally was just called the Humanist Discussion Group that met following Common Ground on Sunday mornings. Our current name, the Harried Reasoners, was coined by former member Stan Yoder at a time when the group was feeling rather harried. Today, we are still primarily a humanist discussion group, but we branch out into a variety of subjects. I am not the facilitator. Ruby Hill was facilitator of the group for many years, followed by Marty Kosmersky, and today Jenny Berry is our fearless leader. Basically, we select a topic to discuss, do a bit of background research, and try to come to meeting prepared to discuss. We talk about national and world issues, philosophical, historical, economic, and scientific topics, and learn about other faith traditions. Over the years, we've read several books together, such as Greg Epstein's Good Without God, Brian Stevenson's Just Mercy, a searing indictment of America's criminal justice system, and Karen Armstrong's 12 Steps to a Compassionate Life. Our meetings work best and are most rewarding when members of the group generate topics and bring some research for the discussion. This is a time for exchange of views and interpretations of a whole range of topics from a humanist perspective. We meet on first and third Sundays of each month at 11:30, and recently, in time of COVID, we have been meeting on fifth Sundays as well. So I invite you to come join our Zoom room, bring your own favorite topic, and finally, a heads up for next Sunday, David Pollard will lead a discussion on the topic, what is paganism? And now Laura Lee will tell us about On My Path.
Thank you, Marge. I'm gonna put my phone back down. Been having some technical difficulties. So I'm Laura Lee Bratcher. I'm one of the co-facilitators of On My Path, which is not really a discussion group, rather a safe place to let our masks down. We take an hour to allow everyone to pick out a personal experience and ask, what does this show me about what I'm learning in life? I don't ask the group, but myself, out loud, in their quiet, supportive presence. This is not a class to learn a lesson. This is time and space to review, to assimilate the information you're already taking in from all around the world every day. It's to find meaning in it on a personal level. People come and go every week. It's not always the same crowd. I speak to hear myself, not to get an answer from you. I listen the whole time to hear my own reactions, even when you're speaking. I let the silence between speakers help me sort through the things that so easily get missed or drown out in the busy world around me. I care for others by showing up, not by giving advice or anything verbal. I care for myself by being truly open, both in sharing briefly and in not having to agree or disagree with anyone else. No feedback necessary, which is kind of weird, and I love it. Our covenant with each other is not comment on what you share, and to sit with what I've shared instead of looking for affirmation or someone else's perspective on my life. So our guidelines are quite different, and there's not a topic or a book or anything like that. The silence is something to get used to as well, but many of us have come to look forward to sharing silence with each other between times of speakers. We laugh and goof off too. This is not just group therapy where we weep and wrestle with the meaning of life. We often share joys and successes, the scrapes we get into and all kinds of messes and trouble. Life is funny too, and we share that. So I've tried to keep it very brief, and I've cut out a lot of things that I had to talk about for On My Path. So I don't really know if this final version makes much sense, but I challenged one of my humanist friends from Pathways to just try it out, to give it a shot. Hear out a few of us as we talk about what's going on in our lives and care about each other, learning to accept others where they are, and to get comfortable practicing accepting ourselves. We've got atheists, people of many faiths, and weirdos like me who are spiritual but not religious. So if you're curious, then I've done my job. because you can't really describe it in about 2 minutes. And now, the venerable, the wise, the fun and good-humored friend of mine to share with you about soul matters, which I'm totally stoked about participating in this go-round. Take it away, Sandy Moore.
Wow, what an introduction. Well, Soul Matters is a comprehensive set of resources from the UUA, organized around a different theme each month. These are the themes for this year. You've heard already during the service, we've been talking about renewal. Well, those themes are rolled out in a variety of Soul Matters packages. There's information that's age appropriate for all ages that we'll hear more about in just a little while for the children and youth. The Soul Matters adult small groups is what I'm here to talk about today. So there's over 20 brave people this year have signed up to be in the Soul Matters adult groups. This is our second year to participate in Soul Matters. So what happens for these brave people who have signed up, they get a big packet of all kinds of stuff about renewal, suggested song lists on Spotify, movies, articles, books, podcasts, activities, a pretty thick packet that at first glance is a bit intimidating, but then what I reassure everyone is, what the assignment is to glance over it all and pick one thing. Pick one thing that really calls to you. So for renewal, for example, there was a poem that a person could choose to read and choose which stanzas of that poem spoke to their own personal renewal process. There was an opportunity to go outside in nature and just think about all your senses, what you heard, what you smelled, what you felt. Just spend some time quietly experiencing nature. And of course, there were books and movies, all sorts of things. When we meet, we gather together in a circle of trust, very similar to the On My Path sort of circle. When it's my turn to speak about my experience, everyone listens with no comment and some silence. I'm listening to my own voice and my own inner teacher. So what the Soul Matters adult small groups offer is an opportunity to walk with the monthly themes, the same monthly themes we're hearing about in Common Ground, but to go deeper on a more personal level and share with a circle of friends. We started this year with over 20 people interested, and that's I facilitate 2 different groups, and that made the group size a little big. So we have just now changed to opened a third group up, and Franklin is the facilitator of the third group. That means we have a little more room. It's not too late. If you haven't let us know that you are interested, there's still time. You've could look back at renewal. You've missed the monthly meeting for renewal, but there's plenty of time to jump in for deep listening in October. All you need to do is track down either Franklin or me to talk to us about getting involved. It involves only one meeting once a month, an hour-and-a-half meeting once a month, and we'd let you know the schedule, and we'd love to have more people come join us. All right, I would like to introduce the also very venerable Stephen to tell us about Mystic Path and the Exploring Spirituality series. Stephen.
Thank you, Andy. Mystic Path started about 2018, I'm told. I joined the church in 2018, so it was going before I got there. It is for a group of people who I would call seekers, who are open to ways of knowing that may be different than solely scientific or rational, that are more intuitive, more internal, more transcendental. We've studied things like runes, the healing powers of crystals, tarot cards. We're currently doing a 2-month study of Ram Dass's book, The Only Dance There Is. I was privileged to be present in 1970 for the address to the Menninger Foundation psychiatrists and hippies in the audience like me. Almost everybody in the room was on LSD that night. It was during his psychedelic phase, and he was talking about his inner journeys, his exploration of different states of consciousness. He later evolved to the point of going to India many times, having a guru, and putting the substances behind him, as did I in my own path. But it's a wide range of ways of exploring different states of consciousness, different ways of becoming aware of both your inner processes and what's going on transcendentally in the universe around you. I would say that's the essence of Mystic Path. It meets on second Thursday evenings at 7 o'clock. We had a little hiatus, but we're back doing it via Zoom. We just had one this last week, so the next one is coming up on the second Thursday evening in October, which I believe is the 8th. Yes, October 8th. And we'd love to have you join us. The link is in the newsletter. The next topic I get to explain and talk about is a series that I've been doing for about a year now. We tend to explore book topics, and it's a discussion group. We did one by Joseph Campbell on myth. We did one by Marcus Borg on reading the Bible, but not literally. We did one this summer that was really interesting on the wisdom paths of the Zen and Sufi traditions. And for this year, we have a curriculum of 5 studies, about a month or 2 each, on several books. And it's all published through the newsletter. Contact me if you want more information. You can do one or all of the entire series. The one we're just beginning today is John Shelby Spong's Biblical Literalism, a Gentile Heresy, taking a pathway through the doorway of Matthew's Gospel. So it'll look at the Christian Gospel, and as you recall, Judaism and Christianity is one of the UU sources. But this takes a look at it and says, what has gone awry? What has gone wrong? How has it been misinterpreted? What, if you think Christianity and all that it encumbers is not for you, it could be because it's gone so far from the original path and what it was really about through a series of misunderstandings, especially biblical fundamentalism. And that's the nature of this book and this study. It starts today, it runs through October 25th. There's 7 weeks. And contact me if you would like more information on how to join that group. I would note this group is open widely. We have people that participated this summer from my Interfaith Dialogue group from different faith traditions. We have advertised this and are getting people from all over, not just the Metroplex, but even some from out of state. So it should be an interesting discussion group, and I hope you choose to join it. And now back to you, the next speaker, Nancy.
Thank you. And I learned so much. I thought I knew about all our offerings, but I learned from every single one of you. So now it's time to move on to talking about our children's programs. And first, I want to talk about the person who has been our RE professional for the past 4 years, Marissa Broom. And Marissa came to us straight from high school. She was looking for a meaningful job that she could do while going to college at UTA. And we really had the pleasure of watching Marissa become a better teacher every year for the 4 years that she was with us. And we always knew it was going to be just 4 years. And now she's finishing up college. She's doing her student teaching, and she's moving on to the next phase of her life as a music teacher. So congratulations, Marissa, and thank you for being there and teaching our children for 4 years. As an expression of our gratitude, I have a little pendant. Maybe y'all can see it. I'm not sure. It's a fused glass and silver pendant that I'm presenting to Marissa. And I wish I could hand it to you, Marissa, but we'll find a way to get it to you. Just to thank you for your years with us. So now I'm going to give Marissa a chance to talk just for a minute about what this time with us has meant to her.
Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, that necklace is beautiful. So I just wanted to thank everyone so much for the support that they've shown me these past 4 years. And you saying that you've noticed that I've become a better teacher every year means so much, because student teaching is so much fun, and I'm so excited to be doing this. But yeah, Pathways and my RE position have definitely given me so many different opportunities and experiences that I wouldn't have otherwise. But yeah, thank you so much for everyone and all your support for the children and our program. And I'm so excited to see all the amazing things that Tink brings to the program. So I'm so excited. Thank you.
Thanks, Marissa. And now I have the pleasure to present to the congregation our new RE coordinator. And you all know her, Tara Foster, or Tink. We all call her Tink. Tink has been part of the Pathways community for more than 2 years. And from the very beginning of her time with us, she jumped in as a volunteer. She's volunteered with the children, with the youth group, and she was one of our facilitators for On My Path. And in fact, she's also volunteered in many other places. She volunteered with her children's schools, and she's really almost made it professional, I think, of being a volunteer. She's the mother of 4 children, who many of you know, and now she brings that love of children, her skills, and her experience to us. She joined us at a really tough time, since we're all remote, but we're still making a really big effort to keep our RE program going. And so now, Tink, I'm going to turn it over to you to talk about what you have planned for RE for this year. Tink?
Thank you for that introduction, Nancy. It means a lot to me. I also wanted to start off by saying thank you so much to Marissa for all she has done for the children these past few years. I definitely have some really big shoes to fill as the new RE coordinator for your children and youth. But I'm very excited to be here with you all today, and I thank you so much for having me. So I guess to start out, I should give you a little bit of a background on who I am. I know Nancy said a few words, but I'd like to try to paint a picture for you. Imagine a silly young blonde girl living in Hurst, Texas, who likes to play in the dirt, climb trees, ride horses. But I also remember something very important about my younger days. With all that play came a lot of really deep thoughts. And I always knew that I was a little different from the majority of the kids around me, and I never knew exactly why. I didn't understand, because I was too little, about what it meant to live in the Bible Belt or what normal things we were supposed to be doing according to society. All I know is that I would ask my mom about why the neighbors always go to church on that big bus every Sunday, and we never did. And she very calmly explained to me that she was raised with a very deep religious background, a Roman Catholic. She did not believe that any child should have to have a religion forced upon them. She said that we should be able to study and choose what we want to believe in. So that got me thinking about what research I could do. And I became the girl that friended every new person I could, just so I could ask, can I go to church with you on Sunday? Then I was quickly known as the child who asked too many questions. That's all I would do in the service, in the Sunday school classes, and honestly, it drove the adults mad. They couldn't understand why I didn't just sit quietly and comply with whatever they told me. I also found another problem. There was no way for me to realize that all this research I was doing was just different denominations of Christianity, not actually different religions around the world. It wasn't until about middle school that I found some earth-studied religions in the library. And I definitely threw myself into those studies. I found pagan and Buddhism and Druid. I found a whole world that didn't try to damn me to hell because I want to go hug the tree rather than repeat my 10 commandments. Well, to say the least, I spent my teen years learning as much as I could about the religions of the world, not just Christianity. When I started having children, I myself was very young, and that was actually the plan. I wanted to be young enough that I would never forget what it was like to have the mind of a child. One of my goals as a mother was to raise my children with their eyes, their minds, and their hearts wide open to all the diversity that this world has to offer. But since we do really live in that southernmost region, I also had to teach the children to think big but speak small, to save them from the ridicule and negativity of our society. Once I had my twin boys, I decided that the public school system was not for us. And I spent about 5 years running an in-home schooling program. In that, I taught them the religions, the holidays, the traditions from around the world, so that I could open their minds to make their own decisions on their own beliefs. I called it the Coexist Church. And since I had done so much research and I'm an adult now, I had honestly given up hope of ever finding a place that we could fit in. With our open minds and open hearts, it seemed impossible. Never, ever in all of my searching did I imagine that there was already a religion out there that believed asking questions and coexisting together, no matter what your background, was their covenant. So about 2 years ago, I accidentally came across Pathways when I was looking for a meditation group to help me through some difficult times in my home. What I found when I came to this church was open doors, open arms, open hearts, and open minds. The most authentic group of people I have ever met. I left that first day with my oldest son in tears. Could this really be true? Could there really be a Coexist church out there that already exists? It seemed like a dream, and I never thought in my mind that I believed that there would be a place for me. But this is a pathway to a positive community for the future of myself and my children. This was a blessing, a light upon my way. Now that I have a beautiful spiritual home where we don't have to tread softly, And we are encouraged to ask questions and learn to respect the different cultures and religious backgrounds that make up this amazing church. I want to say thank you, Pathways, for bringing my family to your sacred place. I have thoroughly enjoyed my time with all the RE courses available. I've become a facilitator for On My Path, enjoyed discussions with the Harried Reasoners. I've meditated with the monks. I've participated in the Wellspring and Soul Matter adult classes. And I've even helped Marissa with the youth group and the RE off and on for the past 2 years. And now I'm excited for this new role to be able to work with your children much more directly. I know that we all tell kids that you can be anything you want to be when you grow up. But right now, I want them to know that they can think, feel, and believe anything they want. That's the reason I applied for this position, so that I might have a chance to help the young with their own spiritual research, finding their own pathway. The theme for this month, as you have heard, is renewal, and I cannot think of a better way for us to start out each year. What does it mean to be a people of renewal? I believe that the strength to start fresh and renew your situation and yourself is an important part of growth. The seasons change, and we accept this in nature. So isn't it natural for us to change so that we too might also grow? Isn't it our job as parents and adult role models to help the children see the process of change by renewing ourselves, our thoughts, and our beliefs from time to time, so that they may learn that nothing stays the same, and for them to look forward to the times when things are changing. I now want to discuss with you more about the formal curriculum that we'll be having this year. Our Soul Matters material is separated by monthly themes that our whole church shares in every aspect, from our large congregation services to our adult RE groups and our youth. For the children, it is broken up into different age groups for their lessons. We enjoyed last year using Soul Matters for our younger children, and this year we have purchased an additional package for our 6th through 12th graders. I've been meeting with the teens on Sundays, introducing these topics to help them engage in games and readings, help them explore their own spiritual path for themselves and their future. I would like to incorporate speaking with the parents directly once a month, so that I can keep up with how you are doing in the home. I'm hoping as well that the parents will be comfortable in setting up group in-person sessions once a month or two, kind of like we had the Lake Day over the summer. We can use masks, social distancing. I want everyone to feel comfortable, but I think that the children would really benefit from getting away from the screens and being fully present with their peers. There are a few of us here at Pathways who have joined into some extra meetings and our own educational groups. One such group is called Spirit Play, which is a new way to interact and tell stories with the youngest children. I have asked Teresa to be my main assistant in these groups, and she has thankfully agreed. I know she enjoys working with the children, and I'm happy to have her working with me as I continue in this position. I've also been speaking with the INTUC RE about doing a collaboration for our youth via Zoom. At First Jeff, they're working on setting up a gaming server that would be private to us for the kids to be able to play Minecraft. We have Scribble.io, other games. I'm looking into brain games and trivia questions as well. I know it's going to be really hard for them to stay attentive in another Zoom meeting after they've been dealing with their schoolwork all week. So I'm looking for fun platforms and ways for them to enjoy joining in with the other UU teens. I want to help them feel more connected to the UU family, and I'm hoping that this will help them feel like they have a safe place to come to while our world is in a whirlwind right now. Since our congregation is lay-led, it is run solely on the heart, soul, and the volunteers of this church. So now comes the time that I request your assistance. The law states that we need to have 2 adults present at all times whenever a person, whether in person or in Zoom, if there is a group of children involved. So that being said, I know I already have parents here that have been asking me, what can they do to help? I want to open this up to not just the parents, but to our entire congregation. I'm requesting each of you to come and spend a few hours with our youth. Our own church is full of so much diversity and experience. I truly believe that our children need to share the energy that each one of you have to offer. We have approximately 44 more weeks. That gives each of you an opportunity to join me and the youth and share a little piece of yourself. I do not want these kids to feel like that they're stuck at the kids' table. I want them to feel like they're just as part of our community as the rest of us. And I know you all have a wealth of knowledge to share with these children. I am also taking over the Doodle webpage from Marissa to help us all be more organized and sign up for volunteering. That being said, the role of the volunteer is to be another voice and another ear for the children. I would like to sit down with the volunteers at least a week or 2 before your time so that you can get familiar with the lesson plan that I have set up for that day. The youth group has been great about sharing their ideas on the state of the world today. But I'm excited to see how this year will progress with our current curriculum, helping deepening our discussions so that they can explore their own individual spiritual paths. Thank you all for your time here today. I am very blessed to be chosen as your religious educator. I'm excited for us to work together this year, and I know that we are all feeling turmoil with not being face-to-face right now. But whether it's online, by phone, or by emails, we are stronger when we are together. And I'm very, very proud to be a part of this community. I hold a flame lit for all of you to share. Join me, and together we build our children's future. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tink. And thank you to all of our speakers today. To those of you in our audience, we look forward to seeing you and your family get involved with one or more of the many Pathways RE offerings for this year. Offerings for all ages. Now, we have a chance to all get up and sing and dance along to our closing song, Teach Your Children Well by Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young.
Who are on the road must have a code that you can live by, and so become yourself, because the past is just a goodbye. Teach your children well, their fathers have it slowly go by, and feed them on your dreams. The one they picked, the one you know by. Don't you ever ask them why. If they told you, you would cry. So just look at them and sigh, and know they love you. And you, all tender years, I know the fears that your elders grew by, and so please help them with your youth. They see the truth before they can die. Teach your parents well, their children's hell will slowly go by, and feed them on your dreams. The one they picked, the one you know by. Don't you ever ask them why. If they told you, you would cry. So just look at them and sigh, and know they love you.
We hope that each of you on your individual path through the joys and questions of life found some common ground with your virtual fellow travelers today. Please join me in these words by Robin Gray as we extinguish our virtual chalice flame. As we prepare to depart, we give voice to these hopes. May we know ourselves bound in community even while we are apart. May a passion for justice burn in our lives. May we carry the light of compassion in our hearts and in our every interaction. May we be whole in our devotion to truth and always carry the lamp of peace before us. We thank each and every one of you for joining us today. And we particularly want to have a shout out to Franklin because he also has volunteered to help with the children and youth, working closely with Tink. Let's all stick around for a few minutes and say hello. And remember, all the RE facilitators who spoke today will be available during our chat time to answer any questions you may have. Go in peace.
I'm very impressed with the RE. I really am very impressed.
So am I. And so is Rambo. Rambo's very excited.
So I will say Marissa did such a super job.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you,
She's amazing.
Marissa, for all your hard work. We miss you.
Yeah.
Marissa.
And Tink, oh, where are you? There you go. Thanks for your beautiful presentation. Thanks for taking over for our kids.
Thank you guys for having me.
That was beautiful.
It was.
I had tears in my eyes.
I've cried 3 times this morning. Two of the songs when you read the story.
Every service.
The songs
I did.
but also your story did.
Glad to see you all. And especially Glenn, haven't seen you for a while, Glenn.
You haven't seen me for a while either. I've been kind of a hermit. I apologize. You guys really made my day today just being on here. What's wrong with me? Where I should be doing this every Sunday.
Thanks for